My beloved child, a divine redirection is beginning within your life. And I have come to remind you that this is no longer the time to remain standing outside the door of your own destiny. There are seasons when you are called to wait, and periods when you must heal quietly. But there are also moments when God places a clear urging within your heart. Rise and move forward. You did not encounter these words by accident on an ordinary day. After years of passing through doubt, stumbling, and waiting, you are standing at the boundary between what has grown old and what is about to be revealed. The calling you have felt for so long is not an illusion created by desire. It is a sign that you were not formed merely to exist. Fulfill responsibilities and quietly drift through the years. A greater purpose is awakening within you, asking you to stop making yourself small and begin living according to the light you have been given. I know you have often felt different. While others are easily satisfied by passing things, you have always longed for a deeper meaning. You cannot remain peaceful while living falsely, nor can you experience lasting joy in things that appear beautiful outwardly but are empty within. At times, this sensitivity made you lonely because you recognized things others were not yet ready to admit. You sensed instability behind smiles, perceived falsehood hidden beneath sweet promises, and understood that life could not revolve only around being accepted. Do not regard this as a burden. My child, your desire for truth has protected you from many easy roads that would never have led you into peace. God did not set you apart so that you could become prouder than others, but so that you could learn how to carry light into places covered by fear and doubt. However, being called does not mean every door will automatically open while you remain motionless. Mature faith must always be demonstrated through wise action. What God has placed before you will not be received through dreaming alone, but through practical steps, a decision that must be made, a habit that must be changed, an ability that must be developed, or an unhealthy relationship that must be released. You prayed for renewal, but renewal also requires you to leave former patterns behind. You cannot expect a new harvest while continuing to sow the same seeds of fear. You cannot ask for an open future while continuing to describe yourself as a failure. True breakthrough begins when you stop waiting to feel completely ready and courageously do what is right, even while a little trembling remains within you. I see the financial pressures that kept you awake, the bills that caused anxiety, and the helplessness you felt when you wanted to care for your loved ones, but your present ability was limited. Trust that these circumstances are not your final sentence. But do not sit passively waiting for a miracle while neglecting your responsibility. God can open a way through a new job, a creative idea, an opportunity for cooperation, or wisdom that helps you manage what is already in your hands more effectively. Therefore, prepare your hands to receive what you have asked for. Learn, work honestly, reorganize your spending, and stop exhausting yourself on things that leave you emptier. Heaven's provision does not eliminate discipline. It works together with your faithfulness to build a foundation strong enough to carry something greater. In your health, you are also being called back into balance. For too long, you treated exhaustion as evidence of dedication, caring for everyone else while neglecting your own needs. My child, a lamp cannot continue shining when the oil inside it has run dry. Allow yourself to rest without guilt. Eat with understanding. Move according to your ability, and seek appropriate support when your body speaks. God does not ask you to prove your faith by ignoring signs that require care. Restoration sometimes comes through prayer, sometimes through a trained professional, and often through small choices faithfully maintained each day. When you honor the life entrusted to you, your strength will gradually return, and your mind will become clearer so that you can recognize the next steps. In a changing world, many people will cling tightly to what is familiar simply because they fear what they do not know. Yet, you have not been called to build your home upon foundations that are already cracking. Remember the righteous man of old who built a great vessel while the sky remained calm and the people around him laughed. He did not act to prove himself superior, but because he received an instruction and faithfully carried it out step by step. For many days, his work appeared unreasonable. The sound of his hammer rang beneath the mockery of others, but he did not surrender the direction of his life to the opinions of the crowd. You will also pass through seasons like this. Others may not understand why you leave a familiar place. Begin learning again from the beginning, or reject an opportunity that appears highly attractive. Do not allow their lack of agreement to make you betray what you know is right. Some vessels must be built before the rain appears. The transformation occurring within you does not need to be displayed through mystical signs or the praises of others. True light is recognized by the fruit it produces. You become calmer before things that once made you angry. Learn to remain silent when speaking would only deepen a wound. And stop chasing approval at any cost. Others may begin looking at you differently, not because of a visible halo, but because they recognize steadiness in your eyes, sincerity in your words, and a sense of peace when they are near you. This is the kind of presence that changes an atmosphere. You do not need to struggle to impress anyone. Let the way you treat those who are vulnerable, the way you keep your word when no one is watching, and the way you stand firm in adversity, speak in place of every declaration. Even so, I want you to be careful of the belief that you are so special that ordinary principles no longer apply to you. Being chosen does not mean you are always right. Nor does it mean every desire you possess is God's intention. You still need correction, wise counsel, and the willingness to change when you recognize that you were wrong. Light does not place you above others. It enables you to see more clearly so that you can serve more effectively. If a promise makes you arrogant, causes you to look down upon those who do not possess what you have, or drives you to chase personal gain recklessly, then you need to pause. What comes from God will make you more humble, responsible, and compassionate. Blessing is not given merely so that your life becomes more comfortable, but so that you may become a source of strength for those who are standing where you once stood. Now, examine what you continue to postpone. Is there a conversation that must begin with honesty? Is there a plan that has remained on paper for too long because you fear failure? Is there a door God has closed, yet you continue standing before it and asking to return? Act. But do not act in panic. Urgency is not the same as haste. You can move quickly while remaining discerning, and you can be courageous without becoming reckless. Begin with the clearest step directly before you. Complete the small task. Bring order to your days. Respond to the responsibilities you once avoided, and allow consistency to create the road. Great changes do not appear only in one brilliant moment. They are built through hundreds of ordinary decisions you faithfully make when no one applauds. My beloved child, The future is calling you not through noise, but through a growing conviction that you cannot continue living as you did before. Do not fear this feeling. An old garment becomes tight, not because it is evil, but because you have outgrown it. Thoughts that protected you during a season of pain may now be preventing you from entering freedom. Relationships that once suited you may no longer be healthy enough for the person being formed within you. Be grateful for what fulfilled its purpose, and then release it in peace. You are not betraying the past when you continue forward. You are honoring the process of growth God has accomplished within you. Therefore, rise, adjust your direction, and answer the calling with both faith and responsibility. Do not wait for every fear to disappear, because courage is not the absence of fear. Courage means refusing to let fear make your decisions. I will remain beside you, reminding you to preserve a pure heart when opportunities come. Humility when you are elevated, and compassion when you possess the power to choose. God is renewing your mind, restoring your strength, and opening your eyes to possibilities that were once concealed. Yet you must personally walk through the door when it opens. Carry the wisdom of the former season. Leave insecurity behind, and move forward with a peaceful heart. Today can become the beginning of a new chapter, not because the sky changes in one instant, but because you have decided that you will no longer turn away from the person you are called to become. Pause for a moment, because your former season is closing, and before you lies a sky filled with possibilities that have never yet been opened. I want you to understand deeply that the days when financial pressure weighed upon you, the relationships that fell apart, and the moments when you moved through life feeling directionless were not your final destiny. They were stages of training in which you learned how to stand when every support was removed, how to recognize truth amid many confusing voices, and how to continue moving even when no path was visible. Do not call those years a waste, because they made you more mature, alert, and deep enough to preserve the goodness that is about to be entrusted to you. The clock of your former life has reached its conclusion. The patterns that bound you, the false beliefs that caused you to diminish yourself, and the fears that quietly directed your choices are gradually losing their authority. Doors that once remained tightly closed are beginning to open. But you must choose to leave the familiar room and cross the threshold. I can illuminate your path, but I will not force you to walk. I can remove the cords that restrained you, but you must also stop returning to the place that imprisoned you. Some people become so accustomed to a cage that when the door opens, they remain still because the sky appears too wide. Do not live in that way. Do not allow fear of what you do not know to keep you trapped in what has already proven that it drains you. A new season does not come through promise alone. It requires a choice. You must choose to believe that the past is no longer holding the steering wheel. Choose to step out of delay. Choose to stop waiting for everyone's agreement. And choose to act according to what is right, even while your feet tremble. Courage does not mean you feel no fear. Courage means you face fear directly and still move forward because you know something greater is calling your name. Remember Noah, who began building while the sky was peaceful and no one saw any sign of rain. People watched his work with mockery because they believed only what they could see before them. Yet he did not live according to the laughter of the crowd. He lived according to the instruction placed within his heart. Day after day, he continued constructing the vessel amid the doubts of others. Every piece of wood placed in the correct position was a declaration that he trusted what had not yet appeared. Every strike of the hammer was an act of obedience. He did not wait for dark clouds to cover the sky before preparing, because when the rain arrived, the season of preparation had passed. His faithfulness during ordinary days became protection in the hour of upheaval. You are also building your own vessel through quiet decisions that few people notice. Every time you manage money more wisely, instead of continuing to live according to emotion, you place another strong plank into position. Every time you leave a relationship that causes you to lose your dignity, you close another opening. Every time you learn a skill, care for your health, keep a promise to yourself, or refuse a habit that weakens you, you strengthen the vessel. These things may appear small to you, but they are preparation for the day when you must cross great waters. Do not despise quiet work simply because it has not yet produced a brilliant result. Every enduring structure is formed through repeated actions for which outsiders offer no applause. What protects you in the day of testing may be the very discipline you are building today. The people around you may not understand why you are changing. They may wonder why you no longer participate in former conversations, why you are beginning to protect your time, why you refuse invitations that once excited you, or why you have suddenly become serious about your future. Some people preferred the version of you who was easier to control, more willing to compromise, and always prepared to sacrifice peace in order to please them. As you mature, they may say that you have changed. And they are correct. You are changing into someone capable of carrying your mission. You do not need to explain the design of your life to those who can see only a few lines on the surface. What I have entrusted to you will not always be understood by others, because they did not hear the warning you heard and do not know the battles through which you passed. However, make certain that your preparation is guided by wisdom rather than panic. I have not called you to live obsessively as though disaster is always waiting. I have called you to remain alert, responsible, and willing to bring order into your life. Complete what you have postponed. Settle the obligations within your ability. Correct unhealthy spending habits. Bring useless arguments to an end. And learn to rest without feeling guilty. Prepare for what you desire by becoming someone capable of preserving it. If you desire a new job, develop your abilities. If you desire a healthy relationship, heal the way you communicate and establish boundaries. If you desire to receive more, remain faithful with the small things already in your hands. Obedience is not only a sacred emotion, it often appears in the form of practical, clear, and disciplined choices. I know the adversary has repeatedly tried to stop you through whispers that make you doubt yourself. It reminds you of former failures, magnifies your weaknesses, and tries to convince you that the obstacle before you is greater than the strength you possess. It tells you that you are too late, too weak, too alone, or too poorly resourced to begin. But look back upon the road you have traveled. There were many things you believed you could never overcome, yet you are still standing. You wept, but you were not drowned. You were wounded, yet you preserved the ability to love. You lost your direction, yet you still discovered one small step that allowed you to continue. This proves that you have been trained more deeply than you realize. The fire of testing did not consume you. It burned away what was false, revealed endurance, and taught you no longer to trust unstable foundations. Every attack that tried to bring you down became a lesson that sharpened you. Betrayal taught you discernment. Lack taught you management. Rejection taught you not to place your worth in the hands of others. Loneliness taught you to listen to the inner voice instead of chasing noise. What was once used to frighten you is now becoming evidence that you are able to stand. Therefore, do not regard setbacks as denials of your purpose. Sometimes, a setback is only the distance needed for you to see the road clearly. Sometimes a door closes to prevent you from entering a place that would slowly drain the goodness within you. Sometimes delay is holding you back until you become mature enough not to lose yourself when what you desire finally arrives. The time given to lies ends when you stop agreeing with them. Chains begin to break the moment you stop calling yourself by names born from failure. You are not what another person said during a moment of anger. You are not the worst decision you ever made. You are not the rejection you received or the season of lack you endured. You are someone being restored, shaped, and led into a wider way of living. When you recognize this, the plans that tried to keep you trapped in former cycles lose their place of attachment. Not every obstacle will disappear immediately, but obstacles will no longer possess the authority to command you to stop, even while entering a new season. Do not make victory a reason to become arrogant or retaliate against those who caused you pain. I do not raise you so that you can stand above others and despise them. I bring you out of the depths so that you will know how to extend your hand toward those who are falling. Your strongest return will not be making people regret that they underestimated you. It will be becoming so peaceful that you no longer need to prove anything. Allow your new life to speak for itself. Let stability, kindness, and discernment become your answer. You do not need to return to former places to display how far you have come. Continue forward, because your energy must be used for building rather than arguing with the past. My child, before you stands a door, and beyond it is a land requiring you to live with new maturity. Leave behind the baggage that no longer belongs with you: resentment, shame, the habit of sabotaging opportunity, and the need for everyone to understand you. Do not carry broken cords into a new room and bind yourself again. Walk lightly, alertly, and gratefully. What tried to oppose you cannot rewrite the purpose I placed within your life. The season of restriction is passing, and the season of responsibility and expansion is approaching. Build your vessel with today's faithfulness, because what you quietly prepare will carry you across waters others never expected you to cross. I am with you in every strike of the hammer, every decision, and every step. The door has opened. Now it is time for you to choose to walk through. You may have waited for a long time, but that does not mean you were forgotten. This is the season when what I quietly cultivated within you begins to produce results. My beloved child, I know there were days when you looked back upon your journey and wondered why everything had taken so long. You prayed, made an effort, and rose after disappointment. Yet many doors remained closed. Many plans remained unfinished, and some promises appeared to be covered by silence. You began to think that perhaps you had moved more slowly than others, missed your opportunity, or no longer belonged within any good plan. But I want you to see waiting through another light. Not every delay is rejection, and not every closed door is loss. There were roads I did not allow you to enter because behind their attractive appearance were wounds you could not yet see. There were things I withheld not to make you sorrowful, but to protect you from receiving too early a responsibility your heart was not yet steady enough to carry. A person who plants a seed does not dig up the soil every morning to see how much it has grown. They water, care for it, and trust the process occurring beneath the ground. Your life is the same. During seasons when you believed you were making no progress, your roots were growing deeper. I used quiet days to teach you how to distinguish between what you wanted temporarily and what truly aligned with your long-term purpose. I used rejection to release you from the need to receive everyone's approval. I used seasons of lack to train you in wise management, and lonely nights to teach you not to exchange your dignity merely to belong somewhere. If the harvest arrived before the roots were deep enough, the first strong wind could carry everything away. Therefore, waiting was not an empty space. It was a preparation room whose value you will fully understand only when you enter what is new. Now, I do not merely want to place good things into your hands. I am entrusting you with the responsibility to use what you receive to transform the atmosphere around you. You are no longer called to stand outside your own life as an observer, always waiting for others to decide on your behalf, withdrawing because you fear making a mistake, or accepting unhealthy things because you believe you have no right to choose. I am teaching you to walk with the authority of someone who knows they belong to the light. This authority does not make you louder than others. It helps you remain calm when everyone else is panicking. It does not cause you to use strength to control, but enables you to stand firmly enough to protect truth, support the vulnerable, and refuse to participate in what causes harm. When you enter a room with peace, your presence can comfort those who are anxious. When you speak honestly in a place filled with deception, your integrity itself becomes a lamp. You once believed influence belonged only to people with status, wealth, or a large audience. Yet, many great changes begin with one person who dares to do what is right when no one is watching. You may never stand upon a stage, but the words you speak to one despairing person may prevent them from giving up. Your name may not be widely known, but raising your children with gentleness may end wounds that have been passed through generations. Your work may appear ordinary, yet your honesty, devotion, and kindness can restore another person's belief that goodness still exists in the world. I did not place you here merely to accumulate things for yourself. What I give you will become water for those who are dry, and lessons that cost you dearly will become wisdom, helping others avoid the same pain. Remember Esther, the young woman who did not seek a position of influence, yet was placed in the right place at a decisive time. She could have chosen silence to preserve her personal safety, but in the necessary hour, she recognized that her position was not only for herself. Her voice carried weight because it came from courage and responsibility, not from a desire to attract attention. You are also being placed within relationships, work, and circumstances that are not entirely accidental. Perhaps you are the only person in your family who recognizes a pattern that must end. Perhaps you are the only person in your workplace willing to defend what is right, even when doing so brings inconvenience. Perhaps you have been brought close to someone who needs an honest word, a patient presence, or a reminder that they still possess value. However, I do not want you to misunderstand and believe that every word you speak automatically carries power merely because you consider yourself chosen. Words carry weight only when your life agrees with what you declare. If you want to bring hope, let the way you face difficulty prove that your hope is real. If you want to teach faithfulness, keep your promises in small matters. If you want to speak about healing, courageously confront the places within yourself that still need restoration. Authority is not built through grand words, but through consistency between what you believe, what you speak, and how you live. When these three become one, you will no longer need to struggle to impress anyone. Your steadiness will speak for itself. Doubt will certainly attempt to return, especially when you stand near a new door. It will remind you of your age, circumstances, failures, and everything you believe you still lack. It will tell you that you are too late, that your best opportunities have passed, or that if you truly had a purpose, your life would have become easier long ago. But, my beloved child, your timing does not need to resemble anyone else's. A flower that blooms late is not less beautiful, and a tree that matures slowly may withstand storms. A rapidly growing tree cannot survive. Do not use another person's journey as a measuring stick with which to condemn yourself. What matters is not whether you arrive before someone else, but whether you arrive at the right place with a heart that has been prepared. Your former mistakes do not have the authority to take away your ability to enter the future. If you accepted responsibility, learned the lesson, and changed the way you live, the past is no longer a sentence. It becomes a teacher. I can use the very place where you stumbled to make you more careful when helping others. Someone who has never tasted failure may judge easily, but someone who has been lifted again often knows how to extend a hand with compassion. Therefore, do not allow shame to keep you inside the old room. You cannot return and rewrite what happened, but today you can choose a new response, a new habit, and a new road. Every faithful step is bringing you closer to the life I want you to build. What I am doing within you does not end with you. When you learn to manage finances in a healthy way, those who come after you will not have to live within the same cycle of lack. When you heal the way you communicate, your family will no longer continue passing down words that wound. When you know how to establish boundaries while preserving love, you show others that kindness does not mean allowing yourself to be used. Your life becomes a testimony, not because everything is perfect, but because others can see you being renewed amid what remains imperfect. They will see that a fearful person can become courageous, that someone who lost direction can rediscover purpose, and that a heart once broken can still learn to offer pure love.